spoke to Justin and yourself before we got live, and I looked at some of the cultural stuff that you do, and I looked at the book you produce.
Yeah.
And I looked and I thought, and I'm going to say, I've never seen any other organisation do that. They might have a bit of a glossy brochure about their services, etc., but that wasn't about that. That was about the stories and the growth and how many people you've done and how many people you've added. Lots of different stories. I haven't read it all. I just sort of glimpsed through it.
But you've done well with
I've done well. I've done well because I only got it half an hour ago.
Yeah.
But what made you do that, and what makes you think sort of different for the people?
It is a fantastic idea, concept,
Yeah.
and something I know Justin was extremely passionate about at the time, because what we're now edition 4, but every year we get a new book out. Extremely passionate around how can we get the message of culture out there? How can you touch it? How can you feel something? And I think that idea of the culture book was genius, because it is something you can physically touch and it's tangible. So what's happened is every year it's just grown and evolved and become richer, more colourful, more engaging. So that's something that takes time, right? So every
and investment. It's a lot of money to do
and
these
investment
things.
and investment, people's time. But the end result is so fantastic. And again, we got our new version this year yesterday at our Assemble launch, and I just love to pick it up, and it's inspirational every time you read it, because it captures what we've done in that year, all the good stuff, all of the exciting people we have. So I think it's such a valuable tool. Lots of people I speak to, outside of industry, customers, partners, friends, you touch on that subject of the culture, but many of them are like, I love that, that's brilliant. Take a note down. Let's try and do that in our organisation. Not just technology, all sorts, FTSE 100, whatever. They love the concept of a culture book. Pick it up, read
Touch it, feel it, read it, be it.
Justin joked the other day and said, break the spine of it. Really get involved and refer to it. And if at any point you're not sure, we use it every day. I use it every day to make sure we keep true to what we're trying to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go back to your job title, Richard.
Yep.
The Chief Corporate Development Officer is a title I've never heard of.
Do you like it?
I like it. I like it. So what does that do in the organisation, and why did you make the decision to move away from the COO role from last year? How did this come about?
Yeah, because it's been probably even a couple of years now.
18 months.
Where's time gone? I just think, as you've seen on my LinkedIn profile, it's just been a journey, right? And the journey of my role and how I can contribute and support and help CAE grow, especially becoming a 100% sort of owner with Justin around our MBO of 5 years ago. Things change, right, and needs change. For me, it was around how can we have a vision, I suppose more of that concept of working on the business as not necessarily as much as in the business, to try and help steer us strategically. What are some of the things we should be looking at? What is the direction we should be going in? Is AI something we should be looking at? Should our strength of alliance and growing our alliances and ecosystem be as important as it should be? So I think it's just giving more headspace, more time to enable to focus on how CA should develop and grow, because we've still got massive aspirations around what we want to do, and it's having more time to be able to focus on some of those bigger and better things. But that still includes good stuff like customer investment, making sure that we're giving our customers, our prospects, everything that we should be giving at a sort of a CAE board executive level, but also just some more space around looking at some of the more complicated long-term things around the direction that CA should be running in.
Did you have to have a bit of a mindset change to do that sort of role? Because before you were, I'm guessing, operational, more involved in the nuts and bolts of the business, and that's much more of a strategy role. Did you have to sort of think, do I want to do that? Or do I want to be more involved in actually getting into the business?
I think it's just been a journey. I've had lots of mind shift changes over the different roles I've had, right through from an employee. So I'm used to that. I'm used to some mindset changes, but it's also around keeping myself fresh and learning new things. And I still have, even now, executive training and developments, not just in IT, but in the broader sense of business, and I find it extremely valuable. So yes, I have to keep my mindset fresh and keep changing, but it's also then applying that to how it can make CAE bigger, better, stronger, and obviously in coordination with Justin around what's the direction, what do we want to do, what does Justin want to focus on, what do we want to, how do we add our own impact. You get to these points around, well, what are the things, what are the areas that we do want to focus on, and make sure that we can keep CA moving in an exciting direction.
You mentioned recently that you're seeing business as usual mindset from a lot of your customers.
Uh-huh.
So getting back to more proactive rather than reactive with their IT spend. What opportunity do you think that brings for the technology industry and CAE in general?
Yeah, so look, the last couple of years, a lot of organisations, and I've heard it in the room, all sorts of organisations. A couple of years ago, everyone had to make a reactive decision in one way, shape or another around parts of their business. Overnight they've got to become hybrid. Overnight they've got to buy a lot of laptops. They've got to be secure. They've got to do video conferencing. And through no fault of anyone's, people were rushed into making those decisions and making that, minimise that impact as much as possible. I think there is a fantastic opportunity because organisations are starting to re-look at, okay, so what decisions did we make then? How did we react at that point in time? Was that the right thing? Could we now do that a bit better? So I think there's an opportunity because organisations are looking back at what some of the decisions, some of the action they took at that point in time. So for us, whether that's in the channel or in the technology sector, I think it's a great opportunity to help customers not only look back at some of the more recent decisions that they've made in the last couple of years in particular, but adding that onto that typical more forward view around, well, what are you looking to achieve as an organisation, as a customer? What are some of those challenges that you need help with? Some of the more traditional conversations that the channel would do, take advantage of, well, what have you done in the last couple of years as well? Because is that right for what you need to build on as well? So I think there is good opportunity there.
Now, you took a very proactive decision in COVID of getting a new building, which we're sitting in today, which for the listeners out there is absolutely amazing, fantastic building. I won't be so crass to sort of say how much it costs because I'd be terrified.
Yep.
But you've really, really gone to town there. What made you do that at that point? Because there was a lot of people that are in stall mode and they weren't really sure what they're doing. Yet you went, I don't want to say not full steam ahead, you've literally gone all in doing something like this, which would have terrified most companies because they're thinking, is this going to continue? So where was the decision process for that, Richard?
So there were natural reasons to do it as well. Our old HQ, whether that's from the time of the lease and just some natural things anyway to make a decision point. But then on the flip side of that, it was also, we'd refurbed our previous HQ a couple of times. We'd got it into a good state. But at that point, it was also around, well, how else can our location, our facilities represent our culture more and represent more around what CAE are about? And that was a real driver to, well, actually, we've got a good opportunity here to do something different, actually take a big step forward around a business, a premises, a heart of what CAE is about in the building and in the location and in the headquarters. So there was that side to it as well. So we thought, and obviously then COVID came as well, and a lot of people even at that time were saying, oh well, the office is dead, no one will need any office space at all. So we clearly didn't believe in that, but likewise it was still a sensitive time to make the move. But again, Justin and I spoke about it and thought it's a perfect opportunity for the next step, the next journey for CAE, to have a fantastic location, a fantastic facility that truly represented what we're about, and that was a real core driver. And thankfully we made it happen. I know we were joking before around, we were looking at the artist's impression of what the building should look like and what we would hope we would have and what our people could look forward to. It's another thing then making sure that delivers to that standard, because I think we'd have been devastated if we'd have looked at what was possible and then we walked in on the first day and you're like, oh, okay, that's not quite what we wanted. But thankfully, with a lot of effort from all sorts of people, we got it delivered, and it's, I suppose what's actually blown us away even more is how much having a facility like this, and we're mirroring it now across our other locations, but having that image, that the representation of CAE, how much of a benefit that has brought to us. That's even surprised me. We thought it would be good, but it has been fantastic.